Welcome to Coffee with a Journalist, a podcast by One Pitch featuring the tech industry's most well-known journalists. The goal of our show is to uncover the real person behind the real stories you love to read. We discuss their beat and news coverage, what their inbox looks like, and a whole lot more. On today's show, we're joined by Alana Hope Levinson, Deputy Editor at MEL Magazine. Alana shares the backstory behind MEL Magazine, the different ways she and her team identify news stories to cover, how you can pitch the team at MEL Magazine, and a ton more. Let's hear what Alana has to say on today's episode.
Hey everyone, today on Coffee with the Journalists, we have someone in the lifestyle sector. I'm so excited about this. Not that I don't enjoy all our technology people, but Alana Levinson is here. She's the Deputy Editor of MEL Magazine as of 2017. Alana, thank you for being here. I'm going to have a lot of fun here today.
Thank you so much for having me and mixing it up.
Yes.
Someone from the lifestyle space.
Yes, this is exciting. It's exciting. First off, just for people who are not familiar with MEL Magazine, and it's prominently known in Los Angeles, could you just give a little overview of what's on MEL?
Yeah, sure. So MEL Magazine is a men's magazine that was founded in 2015 by the brand Dollar Shave Club, which is a razor subscription company. But it operates as a full independent news organization, sort of, within the brand. It's a men's magazine, although we kind of like to say, because so many people of all genders read MEL, that it's a magazine from a male point of view. So it's really interested in issues around gender, culture, the internet, politics, class, mental health, physical health, and how all those things sort of coalesce. The idea was always MEL is a magazine for men you know.
Men you know. Got it.
Yes, men you actually know, as opposed to some imaginary man that's, shopping for a private jet or
with chiseled abs.
Yeah, something like that.
16-pack, yeah.
Right,
okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was sort of the original idea, and I think, over the past couple of years, there are a lot of just, regular guys out there looking for stuff to read.
Yeah. Oh, that must be fun to see. Oh, we're gonna dive into the content and things in just a little bit here. But before all of this, Alana, just so that people know, you've had quite a long range career, let's say, so far in media, but you've also been writing for Vice, Rolling Stone, Wired. You've been around, which is great.
I've been around the block.
Yes. And you've done long form features, you've done investigative work, special issues, and so forth. One other thing I want to clarify for people, and this just was brought up yesterday in a conversation with founders who were trying to pitch media. Deputy editor, what does that mean? Do educate us.
Oh, I'll let you in on all the meaningless, weird, different
perfect
categories within media.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the editor-in-chief is the head of the operation. They're the top dog. Deputy, the same way it would mean in other contexts, is sort of like the second in charge or, right-hand man or woman. So that basically means that they're an editor with a senior position at the magazine. So they usually, in addition to doing actual day-to-day editing, oversee management of the staff and running the magazine and getting things up online and, making sure that everything works together. So that's what they do. They also just do a lot of the management in the day-to-day. But the thing is, the title can totally change mean different things depending on if you're in print versus digital.
Yes.
It could mean anything. So I'm sorry that I know that probably doesn't help you.
No, it totally changed. It's like, what's a vice president somewhere? It's like,
right.
Totally is different.
But I would say, hey, it's an editor that's high up on the masthead. And that probably works closely with the top person. So,
by the way, I just saw this. You were on Folio's 2020 Top Women in Media. Whoop.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was. I love being an up-and-comer at 32. It was very cool.
Hey, awesome.
I love it. No, I love it. I worked a long time to become an up-and-comer.
Right?
And it makes me feel like I'm just starting out. I have a long time to go.
This is true.
Yeah.
Can we also talk briefly about your fantastic Halloween costume from this year?
Sure.
Or actually last year. And everyone, please, you can visit her personal website. You'll see it in the credits, so you can go there. But tell us about this fabulous suit?
Well, I love Halloween. It's always been one of my favorite holidays. I just love dressing up. I used to have this meme series called I Call This Look, and I actually still do it on social media where I come up with different identities for my outfits. So Halloween to me is sort of like my Christmas. And this year was actually kind of a simple year because I just went with the straightforward pink Power Ranger, but it was really fun because walking out, like so many adults were stopping me and honking and they were like, "We love your outfit." Like the Power Rangers seem to bring people a lot of joy.
I love that about costumes when it delights other people. Delight is one of my favorite things.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, let's go into one thing we always talk about, which is the making of a story, how an actual story from the concept to actual hit the print publish button occurs. How do you think of making a story come to life?
That's a great question. I know I said earlier I wasn't going to talk about a coronavirus story, but
that's okay.
You know what? It's just inspiration strikes where it strikes. So
that's right.
I mean, I would say I definitely very much came up on the internet as a reporter, and earlier in my career wrote about digital culture. So a lot of the ideas I do get are from Twitter or from internet culture. That's just where most conversations are having. People are having conversations there. That's where they are.
Now, and are you just like scrolling along and looking and seeing what's happening?
Yeah, I think over the years, I've just amassed such a weird, insane, intense list of people I follow from all different corners of the world. And so I'm looking at that. But, different trending hashtags and just kind of seeing what people are talking about.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, the story isn't that tweet because we want the story to be like more complex than just a tweet, but it will lead to a bigger story. So an example is during, when the lockdown first started, all the stores were closed and restaurants, it was announced that liquor stores were going to stay open. And I was just seeing a lot of tweets of people being outraged, like, why is a liquor store an essential business? And I was like, that is a really good question. So I had a reporter look into it, C. Brian Smith, and he's our senior features reporter, and he basically found that liquor stores are essential businesses because alcoholism is such a problem, and if like people with alcohol problems couldn't get access to alcohol all at the same time, it would be like a public health crisis in addition to coronavirus. So we had to keep the liquor stores open so that people didn't have withdrawals from alcohol. And that was a really interesting story because it just came from one random tweet. And he ended up speaking to people all over at rehabs about, sort of the fear of liquor stores closing and what that would mean for the addiction community and just, what would happen to ERs during that time period.
Yeah.
Sort of a bummer story, but I thought it was really interesting and it was answering a question that a lot of people were thinking at the time.
Mm-hmm. So in terms of where you're getting inspiration for stories, it just might be coming from your Twitter scroll.
Yes, but it's also I've always thought that, I've never really bought like the impartial journalist sort of myth. I think a lot of my best stories come from things I'm thinking about, things that have happened to me, things I'm noticing. And I always encourage the reporters I work to and tell them that like a lot of times their best stories are happening in their own communities or in their families, in their own life history. So a lot of stories are also just from things I'm hearing or noticing in my own life. Yes.
And then what about for your team? You were saying you encourage them to do the same, but is that how you'd say your staff is generating story ideas? Are they scrolling through Reddit, for example? Are they looking at all the, maybe like all the Hearst publications, seeing what they're doing?
I think we definitely they're never pitching me something that's based on something someone else has done. They know that won't get through.
Yeah.
So it has to be original in the sense that it's from the internet, but it hasn't been covered a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
If it has been covered by a Condé Nast publication, I'll probably say, well, it's already been done, so we can't do it. But I think, MEL is a very editor-forward publication in that the editors do a lot of pitching and also, I think, sort of set the tone for how the pitching works. So I think a lot of them are either looking on the internet as I do, Reddit, Twitter, all that stuff, Facebook, or they're bringing stuff from their own lives too.
Facebook?
Yeah.
Wow. That still has relevance? I mean, 2 billion people are on there, so.
I actually think there's a lot of good stories there, especially about, if we're in sort of the liberal bubble of Los Angeles, and I think there's like a world that exists on Facebook.
There's a deep world.
There's a deep world that I don't think that, reporters, if they're living on either coast, would necessarily just bump into on the street.
So true. How about your inbox? What does it look like on a day-to-day basis? Do you have hundreds of emails, 2 emails?
I hate to bore you, but I am an inbox zero person.
Yes, you're in the same camp. There's some people I talk to, they have like 40,000 emails unread.
I understand that, and I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. Like, I just can't do it.
So how often does it hit zero? Weekly? Daily?
Like right now I have 1 email in there.
1?
Yeah.
We're talking on a Friday, by the way. That's good. Way to end the week.
Yeah. I would say, I try to keep it's rarely above 10.
Wow. Okay, you have to tell us your secrets.
But that doesn't mean that I can respond to every pitch, though.
Okay, gotcha.
Some things are being filtered to others.
Okay, so then tell us a little bit about how many pitches do you get a day or in a week?
Maybe 30
a day, a week?
No, a week.
A week. 30. Okay,
I'm not like
that's not crazy.
That's not. I mean, it totally depends.
Yeah,
I don't know. That actually is probably low because we have a general pitch account that we're also getting emails that I look at.
Oh, is that your job to look at that general one?
We all look at it. Yes,
that's
the other thing where we don't have like an assistant, so we all kind of do stuff like that.
Oh man, and then so that's the first time I've heard that there's I mean, I know every media outlet usually has that, info at whatever email, but so there's a general inbox and you guys go in there and you just scan it and then you'll pluck out something you think is interesting. This is the first time I'm hearing that that's actually shared among a team and they actually look at it.
I wouldn't say that a ton of pitches come through that. Because typically I would say like better pitches typically come directly to an editor that like there's some sort of familiarity there. But I also think it's important to have an open pitch line for people that don't, you know what I mean? To make it more egalitarian. And we do look at it. Yeah, we look at all of them. I don't think we get back to everyone, but we're reviewing it.
Got it.
And we've had one of my best writers came in through that.
Oh, so someone got even a job.
Oh, well, he's a freelance writer. But,
okay, yeah.
Yeah, why? I mean,
still,
sure.
That's great.
Yeah. So, but again, we're a small magazine and we're run very, very differently. I highly doubt, there's no way the GQ pitch inbox is being read.
Oh, I can. Yeah, exactly. So. Exactly. But that's good to know. Actual humans are looking at your general one. So if you don't know who to go to, you could, I guess, go there.
Yes. Pitches at melindustries.com.
There you go. Would you prefer, though, knowing now that we know that, would you prefer them still to come directly to you? Or are you like, just put them in that general? Because then that's more democratic and maybe someone else will look at it. Like, what are my chances if I don't know you?
Well, I think your chances might be higher because there are a bunch of different editors with different interests that see that.
Look the whole thing. Oh, okay.
When you're pitching to me, it's just I'm going to go with the things I'm most interested in.
Yeah. Okay. Good insight. Unique perspective on this one. Congrats on your inbox to 0. Wow. Fantastic. Okay. How about we play a word association game? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Alana,
I am ready.
You just say the first thing.
Okay, let's see.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay, here we go. Food.
Chicken nuggets.
Damn, that's a good one. No one has said that.
I'm having the craving. And when you're having the craving.
See, this is why you got to just do it live. Okay, drink.
7-Up.
Hobby.
Knitting.
Oh, yes. Print.
Magazines.
San Francisco.
Hometown.
New York City.
Never sleeps.
Los Angeles.
Peace.
Oh. Ben Affleck.
Hot.
Okay, just for people to know.
I've been a big part of Ben Affleck Hive fan.
Wow. What, is there a name? Is there a name for such people? You wrote an article on him.
I did. But wait, what did we call him in that? Oh, Benonites.
Benonites.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. I hope he's listening to this.
I hope he is. We'll send it. Send it.
Thank you.
Features.
Amazing.
Branded content.
Mixed bag. How about that?
Mixed bag. Yeah. Journalism.
Sad.
Pitch.
Me.
Oh, that's so good.
Am I the first person that's done that?
Yeah. 100%. 100%.
My mind
I'm sure
works in really
Patrick can validate our
ways.
producer, but yeah. Okay. And then inbox. Well, I know the answer to that.
0, baby.
Oh, it's so good.
I mean, look, now I'm saying this, it's going to pile up and get insane.
It's going to be like 15.
Yeah.
Okay. What are you reading right now?
So, this is a great question to ask me because I read so much for work because I'm editing primarily the features, which are the long stories. Like I'm reading all day as my job. And then I'm also reading like other things to get a sense of what other people are doing and what's going on in the world. So the last thing I want to do is read like in my free time, even fiction. Like I love reading that, but that's just not always what I want to do. But right now I'm doing The Artist's Way. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. It's by Julia Cameron.
Yes. You're not the first person who's told me that.
Oh my God. Yeah. So, it's this amazing book that's been around for decades that's supposed to help people get past creative blocks or sort of like unlock their inner artist. It sounds a little cheesy, but
it says The Artist's Way, a spiritual path to higher creativity.
Yes, exactly.
25th anniversary edition is out.
Yeah, get it while it's good.
Get it while it's
hot.
Still young.
Yeah. So I'm starting to read that. And like part of that is, it's a 3-month commitment of like close to an hour every day. And you have to get up early and do these things called morning pages where every day, like first thing you get up, you like write 3 pages of just like stream of consciousness before you do anything.
Oh, wow.
It's really interesting. So I've been doing that.
Is it specific to writing?
No. And actually like the book is actually works better. It's like designed for people who aren't artists. Like a lot of people that have best success with it are people who like were maybe liked art or writing or whatever it may be when they were younger, but now are in totally different industries. And it's supposed to really help you get in touch with that part of yourself. It's actually really hard. It's harder for writers because it's really hard for me to just stream of consciousness, right? Because I'm editing it in my head and I'm like, that's terrible.
Yeah.
So, yes. So I would actually say it's for everyone, probably more so if you're not a writer.
I just bought it. It's coming on Sunday.
Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you. But anyway, I've loved reading that because journalism is very much, a grind and it is creative. It's hard. It's easy to lose sight of that when you're in the grind,
Yeah. And I think sometimes what often happens is something is fun to you, like cooking could be fun, but then as soon as you got to do it every day or you got to do it for someone else or there's expectations of you doing it a certain way, it's like now that's how it becomes not fun.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
Totally can relate.
It's kind of helping me see writing not as a job.
Yes. That's good.
Yeah.
What do you think about the future of journalism?
So, yes, I'm sorry that I said journalism when I said sad was my first. It's not the act of it isn't sad. It makes me sad to think about sort of the state of it right now. I mean, right now we're just seeing because of, honestly, the industry was totally falling apart long before coronavirus. Honestly, the entirety of my career, like I graduated in 2009 into the recession, and there's never really been a great time. I mean, there was a moment in time where all of these venture capitalists were like investing in new sites. And so there were all these sites to work for, like BuzzFeed and Fusion. And these are sites that didn't exist anymore. So there was that brief time where we were all getting jobs, but it didn't last very long. So I've sort of just watched layoff after layoff after layoff. And now with coronavirus, it's just reached a fever pitch of it happening like literally everywhere. I would say the only hope that I have, though, is that at some point, like it can't get much worse.
Yeah.
So maybe, after this, like I have been saying for years, like the advertising model does not work. It's like a broken model and the traffic model doesn't work. And I think like now finally everyone's accepting that. So whatever we do going forward, we all know like the jury is in on the existing model not working. somewhere in there is hope. I still think that there is more potential. Again, we're in the middle of a recession, so even brands aren't doing great, but I still think that there's like way more potential in brand backed media, which is the model MEL has.
Yes.
We have not done layoffs in our time, and we operate on a different sort of system, which has its own unique challenges, and it's by no means right for every single newsroom, but I think there's some hope there.
Oh, actually, let's educate here for a second. For people who don't know what a branded media outlet is, you already mentioned it's from Dollar Shave Club, but what can you explain to folks listening so that they're very clear?
Yes, sure. So originally there was this idea of branded content, which was brands sort of funding journalism that was essentially an ad that read like an editorial. And this, for many reasons, was seen very poorly in the journalism community because it's not journalism if it's being paid for by a brand.
Exactly.
Right. So it had this dirty word, but and I think that's why people are really weary of like partnering with brands in any way. But what we're in now and what MEL does is that the brand simply funds us, but lets us operate. Like, we don't write about razors. We've never written about razors.
Exactly.
They don't actually weigh in on our content at all. But the mere association of having us increases their visibility and sales. So that's why we exist, sort of as like a marketing arm. But yeah. So I think a big hurdle it had in the beginning was getting over that perception that we're just, and we still see it. It's so funny. We've done like so many investigations and so much legitimate journalism, but people will be like, this is owned by like once in a while, they just can't get past that. And it's like, I think we're going to have to get to the point where we do and realize that even our favorite, newspapers are owned by big corporations.
Or billionaires.
Yeah. So everyone is owned by someone.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder, like, does the Washington Post deal with this?
No. So we're always saying that. Like, why don't they get more, criticism? Or like, what about their coverage of Amazon or The Ringer and HBO?
Exactly. I don't think I've ever seen like a comment in the user comments on like, well, this is Amazon's publication.
Yeah. Well, I think that's because they had the history, and it's hard when you're a new publication and you haven't already established a bunch of reader sort of like sympathy and trust.
I think there is a future in that. It just, of course, taken too far can always be like a slippery slope. So, it's cool, billionaires own it or whatever, and it's totally independent. But then when you get something that's not, it's like, ooh, so.
Sure. On the other hand, they've done such great work regardless, and won Pulitzers under his ownership. So
that is damn correct.
I think we're going to have to start to get comfortable with different like ownership models.
Yeah. I think it's true, because otherwise the ads aren't paying for these things. So
yes. So I hope that wasn't too sad.
No, I don't think it's sad at all. Would you go into journalism again now knowing the state of it? No.
Yeah.
Oh, few people say no. Okay, then what else would you be doing?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll like regret saying that, but I don't think it would be like wise to advise anyone to go into an industry that's so unstable. Like I don't know at this point how you like build an actual life in it, given how volatile it is. I think if someone is independently wealthy, sure.
Yeah, right.
I think it depends on your like circumstances as a person. But I think there might be another golden age, and my question or my response to that would be different. But I think there's a lot of ways, even though I do lifestyle journalism, I do really like impacting the conversation around gender and inequality. And I love internet culture and all that stuff. And I think maybe there are other ways to be really impactful in that space that don't involve journalism.
Possibly.
That maybe are a little bit more stable of a career. But I hope not everyone answers my way.
You're a rare answer, I'd say, in this camp. Even some people reluctantly say, oh, yeah, I still would. I love it too much.
Even since this past Corona thing?
Oh, yeah. Yes. We got some diehards out there.
So many journalists are out of work. It's just really...
I know.
Scary. But, I'm also in the lifestyle space, so I think it's slightly different.
It is a bit different if it's in a tech space.
Yeah.
Well, let's end hopefully on a more positive note.
Okay.
Alana, let's see what we can do here. We're going to do our little Mad Lib. So I'm going to just give you the words, and then I'm going to put them all together, and we'll read back what we get. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First off, what's just a general catchphrase?
Just do it.
What's a journalist scare phrase?
Plagiarism.
Ooh, yes. What about an empowering journalism buzzword?
That's hard. Empowering.
A Pulitzer.
What's an example?
I said a Pulitzer. How about that?
That's what I thought. No, that was actually my first thought.
Seriously? Let's put it down.
But that's an award.
So what? That's empowering.
Okay. Sure, let's do it.
Let's keep it. Keep it. Okay. Adjective.
Yellow.
Part of a pitch.
Part of a pitch. Hook.
Mm-hmm. Another adjective.
Soft.
What's another part of a pitch?
Laughing?
No. We'll see. Okay. What's another part of a pitch?
What's another part of a pitch? Subject line.
Okay. Amount of time.
Minute.
Another adjective.
Hard.
Hard?
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Singular noun.
Dog.
Topic. Like Ben Affleck.
Okay. Animals.
And then, what's a verb that ends in ing?
Running.
Great. And then what's just a regular verb? Just any verb.
Care.
Are you ready? I'm going to read it back.
I'm ready. I'm
Here we
nervous.
Go. To me, journalism is just do it. It consists of plagiarism and Pulitzers on the daily. If a pitch has a yellow hook, I will absolutely respond to it. However, if a pitch has a soft subject line, you can expect no reply from me. That's probably accurate. If a minute goes by and you don't see an email back from me, you can just assume I am not hard about it. The best stories always have dogs and are usually about animals. The best way to reach me is by running to me, or you can also care about me.
Wow.
Is that rather accurate?
I loved that.
This is great.
I love it.
Oh, Alana, this was so fun.
So great. Thank you so much.
Plagiarism and Pulitzers. That's my favorite part.
And I like
right
to
there.
Just do it too.
Yes. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Coffee with the Journalist featuring Alana Hope Levinson from MEL Magazine. Make sure to subscribe to our show on iTunes, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. If you'd like to know more about One Pitch, head to our website at onepitch.co to learn about the unique ways we're helping journalists and public relations professionals start great stories. We'll be back next week with an all-new guest and even more insights about the tech journalist you want to learn more about.